Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, I want to get to kind of the bigger story today, which is the Lulu and Dante scene, because, well, I've been waiting for that since Friday, and man, was that just, wow. I don't even know where to begin. The fact that he knocks on the door, and first of all, by the way, do normal people just come to the door with their shirt off? Like, who does that, So, I mean, Lulu answers the door, Dante's standing outside, he's like, can I come in? After they stand there and do the soap opera thing. He's like, can I come in? Dustin walks out with not even a shirt on. I'm sitting there thinking, listen, it's already bad enough that, well, technically her ex-husband just came back and was going through PTSD. And you just walked into the living room with your shirt off. What if that was, I don't know, her mother? What the hell were you thinking? But anyway, he puts on a shirt, he walks in, Dustin says hi, and he holds out his hand, to shake his hand. And I'm just sitting there thinking, so let me get this straight. I've been going for a year and a half. This guy has just finished probably banging my wife at this point. And he wants to sit there and give me a handshake. How should I respond to that? So, the funny scene, and I'm going to sit there and say it's funny, is that Dante responded by, in his head, by the way, this is imaginary, that he shook his hand, twisted it around, he held a gun to him, his shoulder, and then he shot him. And I was sitting there thinking, you know what, I know that's wrong for me to sit there and say. Part of me wants to feel like, that's the appropriate thing to at least think about, I mean, I get that Dustin's trying to be nice and everything like that, but, it's, if somebody was just finished playing mattress tag with Lulu, and he just, decided to just shake her hand, how would you feel? So, I was just wondering, what the hell was he thinking about when he decided to do that? Anyway, at this point, it's just awkward as hell. Because Dustin was like, oh, I heard a lot about you. And Dante's just like, and I'm not even joking, he was just like, Dante. Okay. I'm just sitting there thinking, did somebody forget their lines? Or, like, what was that? Anyway, awkward as hell. So at this point, Dustin's like, so, I'm going to give you guys a chance to talk, and I'll just, I'll see you later. So he walks out, and you got Lulu and Dante talking, and Dante says something that he just wished that he hadn't said. Something along the lines of, and I'm just paraphrasing, so what, you didn't want me to come back? When he said that, I was like, oh, wow. Lulu, the floor is yours. You can just, any point in time. So Lulu pretty much just lets him have it, and I was like, Dante, I don't really feel bad for you, that she's just letting out all her anger and her frustration. I mean, she felt bad, but he was like, you know what, I understand, you could be mad at me, you can yell at me. I was like, bro, don't give her permission like she needed permission from you. I don't think that's gonna help. I feel like I'm about to sneeze. But I'm keep going. So anyway, they talk, and then at this point, Dante's like, well, I'm gonna find a place to leave, to crash or whatever, and I'm not leaving Port Charles. And then he walks out the door. Lulu runs after him, and they both do that soap opera thing where they're both like, touching, the door from the other end or whatever. And I was like, okay. But here's the thing. I mean, I feel bad for Lulu because she did wait she did wait it for a long time, and she didn't move on, but she had to. She had to do it for her kids. She had to do it for herself. So I don't feel, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel bad that she's caught up in this whole, you know, I don't want to sit there and say buyer's remorse, but a little bit, you know? She was like, I would have waited for you, you know? But it's kind of too late at this point now, so it's going to be awkward as hell. And I'm looking forward to it. And it, you know, and just to be fair, it sucks on Dante's end too. You know, I can't imagine the whole going through the PTSD and not being able to trust your feelings and to be safe around someone, and then to come back, then to find out that your wife moved on, even though you know it's right and you want her to be happy. There's still a part of you that is sad and upset. So all around this is just no good. And not to even mention Dustin, the fact that, you know, we're not even going to get into him, because I feel like I could just go on and on and on. But the point is, it just sucks for Dustin also. There's no real winners or losing in this scenario. I can tell you that right now. Now, let's go with Gladys, because that woman is a piece of work. Holy, wow. Talk about a woman with no class, no dignity, no self-respect. Just, and you have Gladys. I'm sitting there thinking, you know, I know you have Brando, you have a son that's nice, he's kind or whatever. But I'm sitting there thinking, how did he come into existence? Like, what man was feeling so low that he would actually go out with her? I'm not going to get graphical, but I'm just sitting there thinking, it takes a certain low life to be with her. So, I'm not going to pause it for a second. So, she comes in and she just flats out says, like, you know, I want a piece of the pie, I want this, I want that. Just showing her, like, true nature. And Carly is like, yo, I'm done with this. So her and Sam pretty much just kind of go off on her. And then Cyrus comes to the reception because, well, you know, to be honest, he's a dick. And then right behind them is Commissioner. The Commissioner wants to sit there and press Brando about what's going on. At this point, Brando looks at this as an opportunity to try to cause a rift between him and Sonny. Public rift. So they go at it or whatever. Gladys is being Gladys. And then, you know, Brando's like, listen, I'll get my lawyer tomorrow and we'll figure this whole thing out and whatever. So everyone leaves. You know, everyone kind of breaks up or whatever. Then they meet up later on. Well, Brando meets up with Sonny later on. Sonny and Jason is like, hey, listen, it worked. You know, it was part of my plan, and, you know, you went along with it, which was true. Sonny saw what Brando was doing, and Brando and Sonny went along with the plan. So, you know, but he was also kind of backed into a corner. So he had I felt like he kind of did it against his better judgment. And so when he talked to Brando, he was like, yo, listen, this may not even have worked. Cyrus could see this still coming, and he can still decide to, you know, whatever you. But it feels like at this point this whole plan is going to work out. I mean, like, Brando's going to go through the plan, and Sonny's going to be apprehensive, and Jason's going to be kind of the, you know, middle person. Let's talk about Alexis and... Let's talk about Alexis first. Because first you got Alexis, Olivia, and Ned, and, you know, the guilt train is just piling on with Ned. You know, Olivia is sitting there praising, you know, Ned for being a good friend, and this and that and the third. You can just tell they are both awkwardly uncomfortable. And by the way, I don't know what is going on with Alexis, and I know I've made a joke before that Alexis can't handle her alcohol. She handled it as well as probably she could have. Here's the thing, she either handled her, you know, her being drunk really well, or Olivia was just so grateful for Ned being a good guy and this, that, and the third, that she couldn't see. I mean, she knew that. No, that's not right. I don't think she knew exactly how drunk she was. Anyway, when Olivia leaves, you got Ned sitting there talking to Alexis. And Ned is all worried, like, oh, well, just make sure that you keep your mouth shut. I feel that you may kind of, cracking under pressure or whatever. So they talk a little bit, and then Olivia comes back, and then Alexis leaves. And, of course, at this point, she is stumbling and just, like, looking like she's out of it. So she talks to Sam or whatever, and then Sam wants to sit there and talk to her. But Alexis like, I'm talked out or whatever. And then she does this stumble where it's like, I'm going this way. No, I'm going that way. And then she leaves the drink there. And at this point, Sandra's like, the hell is wrong with you? Literally, that's the look that she gave her. So the minute that, Alexis was like stumbling and kind of like walking like a drunk person, Sam just smelled the, Sam smelled the alcohol in the drink, and she knew. And also, Olivia told Ned that she was drinking. And I guess it kind of backed up his whole story about how they were hanging out, and, Ned was like comforting or just being a good friend to Alexis, and, now apparently Olivia decided to tell Ned that she's drinking again. But you already knew that because, that's why you were with her, right? And Ned's just like, yeah, that's totally why I was with her. Wow, Ned, you really... You know what? I was going to sit there and say, you need to learn how to lie better, but... No, that's not the answer. You should just be honest. I know this is a soap opera, but... if you're going to lie, at least do a good job. No, I can't even say that. I want to sit there and tell him to lie. If you're going to lie right. But to be honest, you really shouldn't be lying. And that's really bad of me to say. What else we got going on? Jesus Christ, I felt like a lot happened. Oh. Okay, so let's talk about Liz for a minute. Oh, Liz and her wishy-washy back and forth ways of... Okay, so she's not there talking to Franco, and she's not there talking to Scott, and, at this point, Liz is just not comfortable about this whole blackmailing thing. First of all, she feels like they can go to jail, which they probably could, but then she also feels like morally it's wrong, and she felt like the reason why she agreed to it, because at first, Franco was like, wait, you kind of agreed to this, so what changed? And, that's when, Liz was like, just when I made that decision, it came out of anger. Now I'm not angry anymore, and I don't think this is a good idea, but Scott is deciding to go along with it anyway. So, I'll tell you the truth, I'm not going to lie. The less I say about Liz, the better, because this whole thing is just, oh, I think this is the wrong idea, and, principles and morals, and it's like, Liz, just pick a damn side. Like, what do you want to do now, This thing is already in motion. I feel like it's just kind of just too late to just start backtracking. But anyway, Scott decides to go outside and, tell... Well, not really tell. He, points to Nicholas or whatever. And this is when Britt was not there talking to Nicholas. And, they were just sparring back and forth. And Britt was, I guess, trying to be nice. Well... trying to look out for Nicholas for Spencer's sake. So they talk a little bit or whatever, and then what the hell happened? Nick leaves. I'm just gonna call him Nick at this point. Nick leaves, and you got Scott sitting there talking to Britt, and I'm not gonna lie, Scott, you're a lawyer. I would think you're a lot better as far as keeping secrets and stuff like that. Just shut up. Because they started talking a little bit, and then Scott is like, oh, well, I don't think that, Ava and Nicholas is going to be together for long. And Britt was like, oh, really? Why don't you share with the classroom? Scott, shut the hell up. What the... Wow. So Ava's not there talking to Julian, and pretty much she sits there and tells him, listen, Ryan has a copy of the letter. I don't know if he does or if he doesn't, but maybe we should find out. And Jesus Christ, what is going on, Julian? I remember when Julian first came to town, when he was actually a mobster and stuff like that, and he actually had power, he would never be stooping to these... I just felt like I just lost respect for Julian. In short, I mean, he's going around, he's being Nell's puppet. That's not the word I want to say, but that's the word I'm going to say. Running around stealing babies and everything like that, and now he's all like, oh, well, why don't you just sit there and just hang out with Ryan and just, visit him once a week or whatever, and, just get a divorce. Ava's like, I can get a divorce from Nicholas, and he can still turn in the letter. And you can still be, very dead. So, but, Julian's just like, nope, just do it, buy some time, I'm your brother, help me out. Because he's a dick. And I'm just like, I feel like it's going to get to a point where he's just going to need Cyrus's help. And then, at this point, at the minute that Ava's about to leave, Nicholas walks in. They talk for a little bit, and it feels like they want to kind of confess their feelings, but it's like, neither of them has the courage, let's be honest, to actually do it. And then, Ava looks at Julian and realizes, listen, I gotta sit there and talk to Ryan, because Nicholas doesn't want her to go. But she has to do it, he's family. And so she decides to do it anyway. And, the scene just ends. And, I think at this point, Gladys is gonna be, because Cyrus decided to, coincidentally bump into Gladys, or that piece of work, and it's just like, hey, listen, I can be a very good friend to your son and to you, so just give me a call, because why not? And of course Gladys is going to do it because she's just a piece of work, which is going to get Sonny in a world of trouble, because knowing Gladys, she's going to sit there and spill the beans about the whole Dev thing, and it's going to give Cyrus the leverage he needs on Sonny. So, yeah. I gotta pause it for a second. And yeah, that's it. I want to make sure I kind of got everything that happened, or at least the important stuff that really happened. So yes. Excuse me. Anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Be safe. And again, and I know I said this in my other review, but I'm going to say in this one, thank you everyone for the kind words, for just watching my reviews, for supporting me, positive comments and stuff like that, and just rocking with me. I really do appreciate it. It really meant a lot, as far as everything that everyone said. Because when I first started this, you go back to my earlier video, I was just kind of I was just venting at that point, because, what is her name? Nina. Well, Nina just pissed me off at that point. And I never actually thought that I was going to get to this point where I'm more comfortable doing these reviews. Actually have people that actually like watching me do, like watching my reviews. I didn't think I was actually going to get to this point, so I want to thank everyone for getting me to this point. I will always sit there and say, it's so weird, because I can go through the week, and I start getting more comfortable as the week, but it's like, the minute Monday comes, and I start to do my first review, I'm just like, for like a good 20 seconds, I'm just like, so, how do I exactly do this again? But then, as the week goes on, it's just like, alright, yeah, but yes, I do want to thank everyone, because it's actually everyone else that's giving me the confidence as far as doing this and being more comfortable. So yes, I want to thank everyone for that. And I am rambling. So with that being said, Thank you for watching. Be safe. I will catch you in the next review.